Hello, good evening. My name is Richard. This is Over and Over and Over Again. And this is going to be the final one of our Euros daily live shows. Very sad moment, but also a good moment as well, because we're going to be celebrating England's fantastic semi-final victory against Sweden, Germany's semi-final victory against France. Also, of course, look ahead to Sunday's a massive game at Wembley, of course, the final, England against Germany. That is going to be some occasion, isn't it, for women's football in England. We probably football in England in general, actually. It's going to be a great occasion. We're also going to look back on the tournament as a whole as well, give out a few little awards as well for what we've enjoyed the most from the last, 3.5 weeks, or however long it's been. It seems to have been quite quick. It's gone over. But anyway, all of it's going to be coming up the other side of this.
We'll be alright with Ellen White. Take the lead with Beth Mead. Williamson gets the job done and Lauren Hemp is heaven sent. Hear the lionesses roar. Left foot, right foot, header. Left foot, right foot, head. I'm supporting England cause it's left foot, right foot, head.
There we go. Yeah. So left foot, right foot header there, of course, from Pete Drake, of course, as we know. The link's in the description on the video. We've been playing it all the way through this tournament. I hope you've been enjoying the music as well as all the football. As you can see, I'm joined as usual by Andreas and Amar as well. Good to have Amar in. Unfortunately, we haven't got a full house tonight. Matt can't make it, which is a shame. But anyway, we'll enjoy the show anyway as much as we can without Matt's presence, of course, because he does bring a lot of good fun and humour as well. Andreas, first of all, it's been a rather good week, hasn't it, for the tournament and for England and Germany in particular?
It's been a fantastic week. For the tournament, for the English team, for the German team. My dream final will come on Sunday, so it couldn't have been better. England versus Germany, it's perfect, but I think apart from me, it's perfect for the tournament because the two best teams made their way to the final, and it will be amazing on Sunday.
Yeah, no, it will. I mean, it worked out. I think we spoke about it before. The two semi-finals. It was the two results that we already wanted. We wanted the England Germany final, and luckily, fortunately, that's what we got. In the end. So, I mean, Amar as well. Good to see you. Have you enjoyed the week? It was quite a stressful week at times, but ultimately, a very, very enjoyable week, hasn't it?
Yeah, no, we couldn't have worked out better. Those were unpalpable before the start of the game, as it was most. But once we settled, we blew the opposition away, and that was brilliant. The way they just made them look pretty ordinary, and as they've been doing with everybody in the whole tournament. Right? And then you could always sense that. In the second game as well, I always thought England would just be a brilliant final with the history, and we've got another one. And in the end, France did their best, but ultimately Germany stifled them and do what they do best. They just showed they had their tournament heads on, and it remains to be seen. Of course, they got 100% record, as we know, in major finals in the history of women's football. Let's see if they can continue that on Sunday. But I promise it'll be a cracker.
Yeah, no, it does, and I say it is the dream final. I mean, I know it was Andreas's dream final, but I think really for all of us, it's probably the dream final actually. And it seems as though England and Germany can't be separated when it comes to we always seem to play the really big games against Germany, don't we? Whether it's in the men's game, whether it's in the women's game, always seems to happen. And it was inevitable, maybe that's how it would work out. But it's been good that it was. And Grim's in the chat, he made a very good point there. He says, during the Euros, Beth Mead left foot, right foot in her head. Indeed, she has. And also, one of the lyrics on that song is take the lead with Beth Mead. And we've taken the lead with Beth Mead a few times as well. So, Pete Drake must be a bit, he must have imagined it all beforehand because he's got it right, spot on with that, which is good. And obviously, it was Beth Mead that, of course, we took the lead with Beth Mead on Tuesday. In a game up until that point, actually, I thought was Sweden were probably the better side. They could have scored a couple of goals quite early on in that game. Mary Earp's done well, and it was very, very nervy. I mean, watching the game, we was in the end sort of behind the goal where Beth Mead scored it. But in that first half, Sweden were attacking the other end, and it was very, very nervy for 25 minutes, half an hour, because every time Sweden got the ball, you're thinking they could score. I mean, Stina was looking dangerous. Jakobsen
Absolutely.
was looking dangerous. Asllani was getting on the ball and was dictating the play. And I'm thinking, this is going to be trouble. But then I kept thinking as well, look at the Spain game. You know, Spain were dominant lots of periods in that game, and we managed to dig a way out of it. And of course, once Beth Mead got that goal, and what a fantastic goal it was as well. You know, the first touch and then the finish, left-footed as well, bang into the corner. What a fantastic goal it was, right in front of where we was as well. It was just brilliant. And and that then after that, really, there was only ever going to be one winner. You know, the second goal at the start of the second half was quite important. And even after that, Sweden had one or two chances. Mary Earps again denied Stina, didn't she? Tipped that one over the bar. Had they scored then 2-1 with 25 minutes to go? Who knows? But in the end, I mean, we kind of finished the game so strongly. Once the third goal went in, and what a goal that was as well, the back heel from Russo. I mean, wow, what an amazing goal that was. And then it was just, you know, how many we might score in the end. And it was a lot. The scoreline didn't reflect the game as a whole, I didn't think. I thought 4-0 was flattering to England for the 90 minutes. It was great and we enjoyed it all. It was fantastic. But ultimately, I thought the scoreline was a bit harsh on Sweden. They didn't deserve to lose 4-0 over the course of the game. We just took our chances. We were more clinical. And ultimately, you know, they didn't get the goals when they could have done. As Gregory said there, 3 times Stina came within an inch of scoring. She did. She had some good chances and she was unfortunate. But luckily for us, it wasn't her night, and you know, it was just the way it went. And hopefully she won't miss as many chances when the WSL season starts. Let's just put it that way. And hopefully she'll bang them goals in. I'm sure she will. I mean, Andreas, what did you make of the England performance overall? Because we finished the game really, really well, but we started it again as we've started a couple of games, maybe not quite as good as we want to be at the start of the game. That's a little bit of a worry going into the final for me.
Yeah, I think this is the pressure on the team. Not only the pressure of a knockout match or of a semi-final, but also the pressure of playing at home and all the expectations from outside, from the players on themselves. And but of course Sweden could have scored, and nobody knows how the match would have developed. If they score in the first minute after 30 seconds. It was possible, and it was a great save with her foot from Mary Earps. And even after this situation, there were 1 or 2 situations where Sweden could get the lead. So the whole match would have developed differently. But all in all, it was a match very similar to the friendlies before the Euros. To the Spain, to some matches we had in the last time. We need time to get along with the pressure and to grow in the match. But every player seems to have to believe in the self-confidence. Everybody's patient. There is no hectic, and I think this is part of Serena's work. That they believe in themselves, that they know about their strength, and that they've got the patience to wait. We will get our chances, and then if we have a chance, we will score. And Beth did it perfectly. It was a typical Mido goal, and then a shot that it can't be defended, and there was no chance for Lindahl. Fantastic goal, and this was of course the opener for the whole match. Of course, even after the early second goal, Sweden had the chance to come back. But all in all, in the second half, I think that we were never sure, but there was no question who will win this match. Maybe the scoreline could have been 5-2 or 6-2 in the end. That would have reflected the match or the chances better. But even the Swedish players said after the match, England was the deserved winner. And
I don't think there's any doubt England deserves to win.
And the Swedes also said this. So nobody had any doubt. There was no discussion like the Spanish team said, "Oh, there was a foul before the."
Right.
They were pretty fair, and they accepted that England was better, and it hurt. As Magda Eriksson said, it hurt a lot. But she accepted the better team has won the match and qualified deservedly for the final. That's
Yes.
What we have to say after 90 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, there's no doubt England were a better team. I say, were we 4 goals better than them over 90 minutes? I didn't think we probably were, but it doesn't matter. We'll take it, obviously. I mean, what I actually liked, the highlight. I mean, there were so many highlights of that night, obviously, from the atmosphere in the ground, the goals, and everything else. But at the end of the game, when the players were doing their walk round the stadium, which was great. Now, Beth Mead was a little bit cut off because she'd been doing TV interviews because she'd got player of the match. So she was the last one. She basically came on her own at the end, and the reception that she got from the crowd, it was amazing. Just her as she walked up, the whole crowd were cheering her and singing Mido and everything else. And it's like, it's not very often, whether it's with the men's team or the women's team, that Arsenal have an England hero and or heroine in this case, but you get what I mean. And now we've got 2 because we've got the captain as well.
Absolutely,
very underrated anyway, and she's been underrated. Beth Mead's grabbing all the headlines, and rightly so, because she's been fantastic. And the reception that she got from the crowd when she got to our state, when she started walking in front of our stand, basically on her own because she'd got sort of separated, it was just incredible. It was like, wow. The whole country is in love with Beth Mead in the way that we've been in love with her for, the last few years anyway, playing for Arsenal. And suddenly now everyone else is getting involved, and it's brilliant. I mean, that was just such a great moment for me, just seeing the reaction that everybody just loves her. And, you can understand why, because she has had an amazing tournament. I mean, Emma, what did you make of the game overall then against Sweden? Because it could so easily. I mean, I couldn't believe that after 25, 30 seconds when they've got a clean shot on goal. And it's like, what's going on here? And they just ripped us to pieces. And you're thinking, this is going to be a long night. But in the end, of course, it didn't work out like that. But what did you make of the performance overall? Because it was very, very good at times. It was a little bit sloppy at other times as well. And there's a little bit of work to be done before Sunday, I think.
Oh, yeah. Funny, strange enough you say that. When I turned my back, I don't know what I was doing. It was 20 seconds. I was just about to go upstairs and watch it in my room, and after 20 seconds, what just happened? I thought Sweden had scored, but then no. And then I thought, what's going on here? Then she forced a save, and then it's like become a familiar pattern. If you exclude the Norway game, you look actually at the Northern Ireland game, the Spain game, and even the Austria game. They started very slowly in those games. It's become a pattern. I'm thinking, they do get stronger as a game on, but against a team who's been so dominant in this, not just in this tournament and in previous editions, you can't afford to start that slowly because they will punish you. I know we've had that belief that they always dig in, and then once we get on the front foot, we're relentless and nobody can live with us. But I feel that they have to start fast on Sunday, especially if they're going to win this game, because there's no room for sitting back and trying to invite Germany onto you, because as we've seen out this tournament, not only are they extremely solid at the back and their press can really stifle you, they can they have to start faster for me on Sunday, definitely. They can't, and their goalkeeper as well. Okay, they only conceded 1 goal. We didn't mention the fact that Lindo had a bit of a shocker herself. You're not going to expect that from a top keeper like Mel Fromes, so they definitely have to start faster for me on Sunday.
Yeah, no, I think we'll. I mean, we'll look at Sunday's game in a little bit more detail a bit later. But but overall, it was a fantastic.
Yeah, sorry, overall, it was a brilliant performance. Sorry,
and it was a great night for English football and English women's football as well. Now, what I quite liked about the games that I've been at in particular, but I've noticed it in other games as well, is they're making it seems as though they're making quite a big deal. With the coverage of it, rightly so, of how great now a lot of young girls are going to be inspired by this team, right? And brilliant. That's what we want to see. But what I've been really, really surprised about actually is the number of young boys that's been at these games and really enjoying it. It's been incredible. Where we were the other night in the stand, literally there was loads of families and that with young boys, and there was loads and loads of them, and they were getting really excited about the game and everything else, getting really behind the team, and that seems to almost be ignored. So let's focus on all the girls that are enjoying it, which is great, but let's not forget there's loads of young boys that are going to be inspired by this as well, and want to start playing football and want to represent England and all this kind of stuff. So it's been good for the future of English football in general, not just simply women's football. Yes, it's going to be massive for women's football, but overall it's going to be good for football in general in this country at junior level and stuff like that, because some of these young lads were loving it, really, really loving it, as well as the young girls as well. So it's been great for everybody, and I think that a lot of that's been almost ignored, and I don't think it should be, because I think that's if young boys can be inspired by this women's team, then that's a positive step in the right direction for everybody. And when they grow up and they grow, when they have kids of their own, they're not going to have the same maybe attitudes that some men have now about women's football, because they were growing up to love women's football when they were kids, and that's so important for the future of women's football in this country and the perception that it has amongst a lot of male football fans. So I think that's been a big issue. That's been almost, for me, it's been ignored a little bit. It's not even been mentioned, and I think it's been really important that it's not just the girls that are getting inspired by this. It's young lads as well that are being inspired by this team. And I think that we need to mention that as well, because I think it is so important. I say for the future of English football. Gregory says if Mead had scored that header at the 4th minute mark, you would have from Canada. Yeah, it was a difficult header, wasn't it? I mean, it would have been a great header to have scored. That was our first real chance, wasn't it? Terry says, good evening, Richard Andreas. Unlucky, mate. No hard feelings with a 6-2 defeat on Sunday. Well, I'm sure it's going to be 6-2. But having said that, I didn't. You were almost right the other night when you said 4-1. So I'm not going to dismiss 6-2 quite yet. You've been on a good run lately, Terry. So I think you said, was it 6-1 against Norway and it was 8-0. So 4-1 against Sweden, it was 4-1, so 4-0. So you're not getting far off. So it'll probably end up
against Germany.
It'll probably be 5-2 or something instead. It won't be 6-2 or 5-1 or something. But anyway, we'll see. I mean, Andres, obviously then on Wednesday, after we'd all calmed down slightly, we were still quite excited, but we'd calmed down a little bit for the Germany against France game, and it actually turned out to be. I mean, we mentioned it on the show, didn't we, before that was seemed to be slightly more difficult to call a winner, and that was sort of how it played out, wasn't it? It was quite an even game. Both teams had chances, and in the end, Germany do what Germany do at a tournament. They find a way to win a game. France had the better of the game just before the winning goal as well, hadn't they? They started to get on top. They had 1 or 2 good opportunities, and then Germany do a Germany thing and score the second goal and win the game. But I think overall, they probably did just about deserve to win that game, didn't they? Very tight game it was. I thought France played well again, didn't they? But they don't score enough goals, France. That's their problem, isn't it? You could see that again.
Yeah, it was a very, very close match, and much closer than England versus Sweden. I think up to mid of the second half, it looked as if France was getting better and better in the match, and I thought maybe France will score a second one, or we will go to extra time. I haven't thought that Germany will score the second, but then there was Alex Pop, the machine. Unbelievable what she does. You can't defend her when she's in the air, and with her head, she in defense she stopped Wendy Renard. The crosses in the France box. She won the duels with Renard, and she scored the decisive second goal. But as I said, in the second half, I thought if there will be another goal, then it will be France. They grew better in the match. Maybe it was this lucky moment when they made the equalizer short before halftime. This is very important for the mind. You believe in yourself, and the team that concedes just a few seconds before the halftime whistle, you get doubts and you say, why did we concede? We could be in the lead. So, and maybe this made France grow better in the match. And as I said, I was surprised that Germany scored in the 90 minutes. I thought if they win, then in extra time. But well, it will be very, very important to stop Alex Pop, especially the corners. So this will be a hard task for Millie Bright, I think.
Yes. Yeah, it will. I was thinking that during that game. I mean, what the difference to me was for both the 2 goals that Alex Pop scored, it was her desire to get to that ball first. That's what got her those 2 goals, and that's what makes the difference between a top level player and a player that's not quite at that level. That's the difference. Simply desire to get there first, and that's what she did on both of those 2 goals. She wasn't favourite for either of those 2 crosses. She wasn't favourite to get there first, but she made sure she was there first, and she got the finish as well. So that's the crucial thing, and I do think Germany, in general, in their team, seem to have that mindset a lot stronger than pretty much everybody else. and even probably stronger than England do as well. So I think for England to win on Sunday, which we'll talk about in a minute, we're going to have to sort of counteract that in a different way, maybe, because that's not our strength perhaps as much. Terry says there, Pop's first goal was class. It was, yeah. They just no desire to get on the end of that cross and to finish it as well, first time into the net. That was a brilliant goal, actually. It was a brilliant goal. And Gregory says there, Germany's looking much stronger than they did during the Arnold Clark Cup. Well, yeah, they are looking much stronger. And obviously Pop is on fire. Well, she's on fire, but we've got a couple of players on fire as well. So let's not worry too much yet about Pop. But yeah, she's brilliant. Let's be honest, she has been brilliant, and she did take those 2 goals really well. I mean, Emma, what did you make of the Germany-France game? Because it could have gone either way pretty much until the second goal from Germany went in, and then that was it, really, wasn't it? France kind of their heads dropped a little bit, but up until then, 15 minutes to go, it could have gone either way. And I agree with Andreas. I felt that France seemed the more likely team in the second half to win, if anyone was going to.
Yes.
I say Germany do Germany things and get the goal as you just know they're going to.
It's just remarkable when you think about it. Just that people have said, since they had that period of dominance until about 2011, when of course they hosted the World Cup and were stunned by Japan. Don't forget they had won the Euros in 2013. Everyone think, they're in decline. No, you can never say that about Germany. There's always been that mentality of their football sides wherever, whether it be the men or the women, and they just never know when they'll be. It's just phenomenal that they have that in them, and or whatever it is. But going to the game, it was through the minute stuff from the first minute to last. It was so even, and as you guys have been saying, Pop's first goal was outstanding. What can you say? I mean, she just having what she's been through and to do what she's doing is quite remarkable, really. And and then when France equalised, it was a little bit lucky, but there was what happens when you take a chance. But in the second half, they made better decision in the final third. I thought Mel Brome made a couple of key saves. One was from Wendy Renard. I can't remember who the second one was from. There was a cross. Was it Diani? She made a save at the near post to prevent.
Yeah, Diani.
She made a couple of key saves, but once Pop scored the second goal from that wonderful cross by, again, I can't remember who did the cross, but they never looked back. And I thought, especially from what I saw, I didn't watch in bits, but Lena Oberdorf, I mean, she's only 20 years old. It's like she's been playing for 20 plus years. So she was absolutely outstanding the way she's swept up the ball, and we'll go on to it in a bit, but I feel that battle with Kira Walsh on Sunday could be a terrific battle.
It could, yeah. I mean, what I'm hoping on Sunday is that the referee's a little bit maybe stronger, because I thought Lena Oberdorf got away with a few, especially one towards the end. Actually, that could have been a red card challenge. It was an unnecessary challenge that she didn't even need to make. Particularly, it could have got suspended for the final. And hopefully the referee on Sunday will get the yellow cards out early if necessary, and that might, because I did feel certainly in that game the other night that I thought Alex Pop made a couple of unnecessary challenges she could have got booked for, and Oberdorf did as well. And it's like you don't want to see players get sent off, anything like that. No. You don't. But if a player does an unnecessary challenge that they don't need to make and doesn't get a yellow card, they're going to do another one because they've got no reason not to. And this is where the referee has to step in and say, no, we're not going to let that carry on. And unfortunately, the other night that didn't really happen. And in the end, that she could have really injured that French player near the end, actually, and that was unnecessary, because if she'd been booked earlier on, she wouldn't have made that challenge, and then that would have solved that problem. So hopefully on Sunday the referee will be a little bit stronger, and I don't want to see loads of yellow cards. If one's necessary, no matter how early in the game it is, if it's a bad challenge that deserves a yellow card, it needs to have a yellow card, and that's the same for England as well. If England do the same, then I'm not saying it should just be against Oberdorf or Pop. It should be anybody, whoever does it. But that was a little negative side for me, a little bit from that game. But yeah, I mean, Oberdorf's a fantastic player. There's no doubt about that.
Yes.
And, she's everywhere, isn't she? Literally, she covers every single blade of grass.
Yes.
Wins every single tackle, and it is going to be key on Sunday to how that game plays out. If we can deal with that as well, and obviously the threat of Alex Pop from set pieces and crosses, then that might decide whether or not we win. And Gregory says, is it England versus Germany or Mead versus Pop or both? Pop scores and then Mead scores. Let's hope Mead scores first, and then we'll have to then Pop come over and score later. I don't want to go behind to Germany, because it's very difficult to beat them when they get in front, isn't it?
Yeah.
France came back to 1-1, but Terry says there, Gregory, Meadow is on fire. Pop goes the weasel. Yes. I don't know about that. Mead versus Pop was giving me goosebumps, and Terry's agreed. Yeah, I mean, there's quite a lot. Obviously, looking ahead to Sunday, there is a hell of a lot of interesting and exciting potential battles, isn't there? One-on-one battles in that game that is going to ultimately decide probably who wins. It's difficult to maybe call at the moment, but yeah, I mean, obviously that midfield battle you just mentioned, obviously Kira Walsh, does that sort of job for England that Erberdorf does for Germany. A different kind of way she does it. I think she's a little bit more. Lets the ball do the work more, whereas Erberdorf's a little bit more physical, gets stuck in and wins tackles and stuff a little bit more. So a bit more like maybe Georgia Stanway does. I think they're quite similar in the way they try and win the ball. But that's going to be obviously a key battle. And as Andreas mentioned before, obviously Millie Bright against Alex Pop as well from corners and set pieces, crosses into the box. I mean, Millie Bright doesn't lose out too many times in the air, but then neither does Wendy Reynard. So, it's going to be a tough job, isn't it? And I think for whoever comes out maybe in some of these key battles, obviously Beth Mead as well is going to, they're going to be having, Germany's going to have to watch her. And if they keep her quiet, then there's Lauren Hemp on the other wing to cause some havoc. And then, of course, from the bench, we've got Russo and Ella Toon and whoever else can come on. So much strength that we've got. So it's going to be such a fascinating game on Sunday, isn't it? I mean, I don't think it could be any. It couldn't have worked out any better, could it? These two teams have been the best two teams in the tournament by a long way. It's pretty much a lot of the best players currently playing in European football coming up against each other. And it's just going to be such a fascinating game and a very tense game as well, I'm sure. I mean, how do you see it playing out, Andreas? Because it's very difficult to call because obviously I think England are maybe slight favourites due to the fact that one, we're at home, massive crowd at Wembley. And secondly, I think, the way that we've played through the tournament, the goals that we've scored, maybe makes us very, very slight favourites. If there is favourites, it would slightly be England for the home advantage and the fact that we did beat Germany in the Arnold Clark Cup. But Germany are Germany. They don't lose finals. And that maybe counteracts a lot of the positives on our side. I mean, how do you see it playing out, Andreas? Because it is going to be an incredible game, isn't it? That's the first thing, really.
Yeah, it will be a fantastic match of two equal teams, and I see 50-50 chances. There will be the slightest differences will decide. You can't make any mistake because the slightest mistake can lead to a goal. So, the German advantage is this strong will to win. It's unbelievable. They showed it against Spain and now against France. It's unbelievable. And I have to say something about Lena Oberdorf. Apart from her performance, it's fantastic. She's 20 years young, and she's maybe the best number 6 in women's football. But I have seen her very often playing for Wolfsburg against Bayern Munich, and I don't like the way she plays because everybody says that she's only 20, but she's clever and she's playing as if she's 28 or 30. She knows exactly what she's doing. This physicality, this tackles, she does it as long as there is no yellow card. As soon as she has a yellow card, she stops with fouls or with this unfair tackling. And if she comes through with this tacklings and doesn't get a yellow card, then she said, okay, then I can continue this way. She's very, very clever, and she knows exactly what she's doing. And remember the match against Spain, she got the second yellow card in the tournament, and then she knew she will miss the Finland match, but she will be back in the quarterfinals. And when she got this yellow card against Spain, she was laughing with her team colleagues.
I remember that.
She knew I must make a foul that gets me a yellow card, but not a red card. That I will miss the match. This is Lena Oberdorf, and I don't like this behavior. Apart from what she's playing, she's fantastic. She's outstanding at her age, at number 6. She's, as I said, she's the best number 6 in European women's football. But nevertheless, I would hope that there's a referee who gives her a yellow card after 10 or 15 minutes, and then she has to perform without fouls, without niggling tacklings, and so. Then she has to show and to prove how good she is. If she got the yellow card in the first half against France, what would have been more than possible, then she would have get the second yellow card, and that meant she would be out for the final. Now, why not? Why not give her a yellow card in the first 20 minutes, and then we will see how she can play without fouls, without niggling tacklings. That's why I say I don't like her, and this is I often see this from Wolfsburg when they play in matches against Bayern in Champions League. So that's why I say I don't like this team. So I had to say this, but apart from this, the German team proved a will to win and this confidence in themselves. It's unbelievable. So maybe England has the better players or had the better matches throughout the tournament, but the strong will from the German team that's the point. What is very, very hard to defeat. So therefore, I say 50-50 in the final.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. And I I was saying before, I think the referee needs to be a lot firmer with yellow, not just for Herbert, for everybody. But yeah, she does do that. You're right, and she's done it a few times in the tournament, hasn't she? And she did it against France. I mean, what I feel a little bit about this final in particular, and I thought the other night when Germany played France as well, the difference between Germany and France in that game to me was France maybe had better individual players in certain positions on the pitch, but Germany were a better team and they played as a team. And it's like there's not yes, Pop's getting all the goals and Herbad's winning the ball back and all that kind of stuff, but Germany are a team. They are a functioning team, and that's that's their biggest strength. Whereas France had some very fantastic individual players that were brilliant, but not maybe so strong as a team. Whereas I think with England, maybe we've got some brilliant individual players, but we also are a team as well. And that may be the key on the day, because I think we can match Germany for the actual kind of team structure, teamwork and all that kind of stuff. I think and desire to win. And I think we've got all of that kind of stuff now, which Germany have got. I just feel as though we've maybe got slightly better individual players in certain areas of the pitch, in the attacking areas maybe, we've got more options maybe of individual talent in the attacking third than maybe Germany have, and that may prove to be crucial on the day, but we'll have to wait and see how it works out. I mean, Amo, how do you see the game playing out on Sunday? Because it is going to be very nervy, obviously. I think both teams will be nervous. It's final. England will be nervous for their own reasons because we're at home, the big crowd and the expectations. Germany, yes, they're more used to those situations, but it's still a final, and nerves affect everybody in a final, there's no doubt. But how do you see it playing out? What do you think is going to be the key to the game? Because there is very little to choose between the two sides. When you look at the tournament, the performances have been quite similar. England scored more goals, but overall they've been very similar, haven't they?
Yeah, well, it speaks for itself. They've scored over a third of the total tournament goals, 33 between them. I think it's 92 have been scored in the tournament. They've only conceded 2. It's quite incredible when you think about it. 2 goals between them, and it was even the other day. It was an own goal, and the one that England conceded, was from the only bit of real that anyone's cut through them. Yeah, I can see the opening stages. Maybe they'll show each other maybe a bit of respect. Maybe you always expect. Well, one thing you can't say about knockout football is one thing you can say about knockout football in general is it's largely to be cagey, and it might take some time for them to settle and get going. But once they get into the stride, we could see a game full of plenty of thrills and spills between two teams who are just right at the peak of their powers right now. And I don't know when you think how much the game has moved on from 13 years ago when they last played each other in the final, when England weren't even fully professional. It's amazing how far they've come, and now the progress that's been made and the investment that's been put in, you can see. But yeah, now going back to the game, I can see it being really tight, and then might open up a little bit. Who knows? And at the end of the day, it might just go down to who's more clinical and who can defend better, as we all know, and just try to keep a lid on win their various individual battles, as we know there will be. But I can see this one maybe going to extra time. Obviously, we don't want to go to penalties because we know
no penalties, definitely not.
So hopefully it will be a thriller. Hopefully it will be a thriller, and hopefully you can edge it just after extra time or something. But no, it promises to be a great game for sure.
Yeah, I know it definitely does. I mean, it's gonna. Yeah, I mean, I do. I'm not expecting there to be a lot of goals. I know Terry thinks there's going to be loads of goals. I'm not expecting there to be. It's not going to be a goal fest at the game. I don't think. I think it's going to be very, very tight. But I did say the same against Sweden, and it turned out not to be quite like that. But I certainly don't think no team's going to win 4-0 in this final either way. It's going to be one goal either way, 1-0, 2-1, or heaven forbid penalties. But it is definitely going to be. There's nothing to choose between the two sides. Germany have got certain strengths that maybe England don't have, whereas England have got certain strengths that maybe Germany don't have, and it's kind of, are those two going to counteract each other out and lead to a bit of a stalemate of a game, or are the great players on the pitch going to be able to produce some absolute magic and that can make the difference on the day? We're going to have to wait and see what happens. Gregory says, is it true that if England win, Williamson and Mead would get knighted? Well, maybe a damehood, I think it is. For women, they probably all should get one, shouldn't they? Not just those two. I mean, I think they all deserve one if that's going to be. Dame Beth Mead, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Dame Williamson, yeah.
It'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? And all the others, I think all the others deserve the same amount of credit. You know, it's not just about Mead and Williams. I know we love Mead and Williamson most, but it's about the whole group, isn't it? Gregory says Germany is a machine. They certainly are. They don't slow down. He says England score first, 75% they win. Germany scores first, 50-50. See, I don't know. I think if Germany score first, I would say 75% Germany win. And if England score first, I'd probably agree, maybe 75% England win. So I think whoever scores first has got a massive advantage, because Germany don't often. I know France did get level the other day, but very, very rarely when Germany are in front, they know how to manage a game when they're leading, and it's going to be very difficult. Whereas if England score first, again, you know, that will give us such a lift of momentum and confidence, and I can see us, as we did against Sweden, as we've done in some of the other games as well. So he says, Serena Wiegmann will be next queen after Sunday. Well, she can be queen. I don't really care. She's queen already. As far as I'm
concerned. The monarchy.
Yeah, she should definitely be. You know, she should get knighted as well if we win it. Gregory says, "I remember Spain scored first. Yeah, Spain did score first, but let's remember though, Spain don't have that same winning mentality that Germany have, do they? That's the difference. And Spain did score first, but it's not the same as Spain scoring first as Germany scoring first. I don't think, in terms of mentality and winning. You know, the winning kind of, they're used to winning Germany, they're used to winning tournaments, they're used to winning big trophies, whereas Spain aren't. They've not been in that position really, have they? So that maybe contributed to that. Plus, how well England played as well, we have to remember. Terry says 6-2 has some faith. It might be 6-2 on penalties, maybe, but not, I don't think it's going to be 6-2 in the game.
It can't be 6-2 on penalties.
No, it can't be 6 on penalties, I know. Ridley's in the chat already, and he says, evening gang, hope you're all good, and come on England. Yeah, exactly, come on England. Well, I know Andreas kind of wants England and Germany to both win, which is quite somebody's got to. But I mean, I think ultimately football's going to be the winner. Women's football is going to be the winner anyway, regardless. I think, and I think it has been anyway throughout the tournament, regardless of what happens on Sunday. I think women's football has won.
Massively.
For the last 3.5 weeks. That's been the biggest positive out of this anyway. And if England win the tournament, obviously that would be the fairy tale ending as far as the tournament's concerned, being in England, all that kind of stuff. But whatever happens, if Germany win, you know, fair play to Germany. They were a great side, but ultimately, women's football has been the winner over these last 2 weeks. So what I really want to do, we will come on to a score prediction for the final later on. I don't want to quite do that yet, but I want to give out a few little awards from the tournament, because it's been overall, it has been a fantastic tournament, hasn't it? I mean, from start to finish, I don't think I've ever enjoyed a tournament, men or women's tournament, as much as I've enjoyed this. You know, I've watched every single game I've been able to. I've missed one or two because I've been travelling to other games or one or two other things on, but I've seen pretty much all the games from start to finish, and I've enjoyed every single one of them. There hasn't been a boring game. There hasn't been a dull game. There's always been great football, and it's been fantastic. So what we'll do is, why don't we? I've got maybe four awards that we're going to give out. Okay, why don't we start with this? So 30 matches have been played so far. Obviously, one more to come. We're hoping that the match of the tournament is going to be Sunday. Ideally, that's what we want to see. But obviously, we can't include that in this because it hasn't happened yet. So far, out of the 30 games that we've played, we need to pick a match of the tournament. For me, it would have to be England against Sweden the other night, just because of how brilliant that was, the atmosphere in the stadium, the way England played, everything about it was perfect. I'm not saying it was necessarily the best technical game of football that we've seen. It probably wasn't. But it's the game I've enjoyed the most, and so for me, I would go with that game for lots of different reasons, but mainly because of how much it meant to everybody in the country and how much it's meant to the people that were there on the day. You could see how much it meant to the players as well at the end of the game, how emotional they were, all that kind of stuff. So for me, that's my game of the tournament. But there's lots to choose from. Andreas, what would be your game of the tournament? It doesn't have to be an England game. It can be any game you like.
Yeah, I know, but for me, it's England against Norway. I think this match is the one that developed a lot in the country and in the whole tournament. During this time, I was in England, and I realized how the atmosphere in the country developed, and I think it changed from women's Euro to just football, European Championship football, not women's Euro. This changed, and this 8-0, it changed a lot in the mind of the English fans of the normal football fans who normally don't watch women's football. When maybe they saw a few minutes from this 8-0 and they read about it or saw the highlight, and these normal fans, they realized, wow, this is a highlight tournament in the country, and this is football, European Championships of football, and not the difference made of women's football. So I think this 8-0, it's and it was a fantastic performance. It was, as I said, in these days, we thought Norway would be a team that could reach the semifinals. And this match, I think every Norway player was just happy when it was over. I think it was the best performance from the English team for years, and this changed so much. The self-confidence, the belief in themselves developed in this match. So far, I think this is the match of the tournament, but we will see the real match of the tournament maybe hopefully on Sunday.
On Sunday, yeah, I'm sure we will. No, I mean, you can't really argue too much against the Norway game because that was an incredible England performance. I mean, just astonishing, and we were all just like lost for words. A lot of it, really. It was just something it's very special. But and it did maybe that was the game that you're right that maybe did start. Everybody started to get behind the tournament and behind England when they saw that game, and that probably was the most significant result and performance that England produced, and that maybe led to the support how great it was for the Sweden game later on, possibly. It kind of led to that maybe, but no, that was a great performance. It was a great game as well, of course. And we're not going to see many like that again, are we? A major tournament, I wouldn't imagine. So it was something very special. Of course, Emma was there. But what would be your game of the tournament, Emma? Would it be that 8-0? Because obviously we did experience that live. I mean, that must have been something special to be in the stadium. But there's been so many great games that there's a lot to choose from.
That was special. That first half an hour, they scored 6 goals. I couldn't believe I was seeing it at times. But I mean, for me, it would probably be the Spain game in the quarterfinal. Actually, the way they cut, even with when they went behind, there were times when I thought, I must say, even I was a little bit resigned. I have to admit that I thought, oh no, please, we can't go out in the quarterfinal.
Yeah, that's what I.
Yeah, no, but they just kept just goes to show our strength and depth of the bench, and then when Elatoon came off the bench and scored there, the whole ground just erupted. It was just like a noise you'd never heard before, and that's when their belief really started to come back into the stadium that they could turn this around, and then to see them go on, not only get stronger as the game went on, but Stanway to score an absolute banger into the top corner as well. After that, it just got the whole country just once again started to believe in the team and that they could possibly go all the way. And we were 90 minutes away from, maybe possibly even 120 minutes away from doing that. But that night and for me was probably the most special of the tournament. Yeah, and I'd say that was my game of the tournament too.
Yeah, I mean that was a brilliant game of football as well. Actually, apart from all the drama and everything else that came along with it, from our point of view, it was actually a very good game of football, wasn't it? Some, two great teams playing great football, and in the end, obviously, it went our way, which made it even better. And again, you was obviously there at that game as well, enjoying incredible atmosphere. that night as well. But yeah, I mean, we can't really, I can't really argue against that game being a game of the tournament either. Actually, I mean, most of the England games, maybe the first game wasn't the greatest game against Austria, was it? But all the other games that England have played have been special. But other teams have produced great games as well. I thought the Holland-Portugal game was an exciting game, end-to-end stuff. A 3-2 win, that was one of the more entertaining end-to-end games. I thought some of the final group games there was a little bit of drama and stuff, wasn't there, going on? Obviously Holland again against Switzerland, getting them late goals. That was a good game against Switzerland, was it? When they ended up getting 3 goals in the last couple of minutes to get through. And so there's been a lot of great games. But I think those 3 England games are probably the 3 standout games of the tournament, probably, aren't they? Terry says there, to be fair, I've seen 28.5 games. I must admit, I've enjoyed them all, apart from England scoring 1-2 against Northern Ireland. Yeah, they did, unfortunately. Yeah, for you. As Amar singing his heart out at the end of the 8-0 win was my highlight. Yeah, we all enjoyed that. Of course, that was fantastic. I mean, there's been a lot of highlights, hasn't there? But yeah, I would say it's difficult to choose between the games. I'm still going for Sweden. Obviously, Andreas is going for Norway, and Amar is going for Spain. I mean, what great games that they were for a start. So we can't really, complain too much about that. This one might be a little bit more highly contested award, actually. Let's have a look at this one. So the goal in the tournament. Obviously, don't be influenced by the image that I put there of Russo's back heel. I just put it on because I happen to really enjoy that goal. But again, there's been a lot of really, really good goals, actually, hasn't there? Some fantastic goals. Now, obviously, that Russo back heel was probably definitely the cheekiest goal of the tournament and the most unexpected goal of the tournament, probably. But I personally, for my personal kind of thing myself, I'm going to vote for the goal that I think it was Beth Mead's second goal against Norway. He cut into the area, past a couple of defenders and banged it in a corner. I just thought that was a brilliant individual bit of skill. The goal she scored against Sweden was fantastic as well. But I'm going to go with the goal that she scored against Norway just because it was just an amazing solo goal. Fantastic skill inside the box. So that's getting my vote for the goal of the tournament. There's been so many. Van der Donk actually as well against Portugal was a great goal when she curled it in the top corner. Andreas, what would be your choice for goal of the tournament?
Normally it has to be the Russo back heel because this was special and I think I'm convinced she wanted it that way because I read afterwards it was just luck. She didn't know what to do with the ball. No, she wanted it this way, and it was just perfect. Maybe if you see the importance of the goal, and it was also a very beautiful goal, then I would go for Georgia Stanway and the second one.
That was a great goal as well.
That was a banger.
Yeah, it was a goal full of self-confidence, and it was a beautiful goal, and maybe so far the most important goal of the tournament, because without this, you don't know what happened, and so this, the most beautiful, stunning goal was Alessia Russo, but just to say something different, I will go with Georgia Stanway.
I mean, Russo's goal. I mean, to be fair, she got that goal against Northern Ireland as well. That beautiful turn on the edge of the box.
That
was a great goal, wasn't it? So she certainly had a great tournament. No doubt about that. But yeah, I mean, that Russo goal was something special. And I mean, it was at the other end to where we were. We were sat behind with the other goal, and although it was kind of a long way away, it was just an amazing moment when you saw her that you're like, she's actually just scored a back heel in the semi-final. It was just incredible to have witnessed that live. It was just wow. It was one of those sort of moments.
Not make the keeper as well.
I mean, it's just one of the moments that you're almost thankful that you was there to experience it live. It was just an amazing, incredible goal, and it was brilliant. Amar, what would be your goal of the tournament? Because there's been so many great goals. Let's be honest. It's been a tournament of fine goals. Maybe not so many sort of long-range goals or even solo goals. There's been a lot of good team kind of work goals, hasn't there? But there has been one or two great individual moments as well. I mean, what would be your goal of the tournament?
I think you took the words out my mouth there, Richard. Yeah, I was going to say Van der Donk stunning winner for the Netherlands against Portugal.
Yeah,
I mean, I could also make a case for Nicole Biller. The build-up to Nicole Biller's header against Norway was pretty good. But I'm actually going to go for one of the group stage. Not many have been talked about it, but I love the way that the build up and the finish. I think it was for Germany's fourth goal against Denmark. The one touch play, the cross into the box, and the header. I think it was Pop who scored the
Pop
fourth goal
scored it.
against
Yeah, she
Denmark.
did. Yeah.
Yeah, that was build up to that was superb, and that would I know it might sound a bit controversial, but yeah, no, we went back to the door. Yeah, that was nobody talking about that as the wonderful team goal and the way it came about. So yeah, I would go for Alex Pop's second goal. I think it was against Denmark, wasn't it?
No, she only got one in that game.
Oh, first goal of the tournament. Yeah,
Yeah, it's her
right,
first goal tournament. Yeah, it was a fourth goal on the night. Yeah, no,
That's right,
that was a good goal, a well worked team goal. Actually, you're right. It was a good goal. I mean, you know, there was some of them goals that France scored against Italy were quite good as well in that first half, weren't they? Some great. Cascarino's one when she cut in and smashed it into the bottom corner. I mean, there's been a whole bunch of them, hasn't there? That's been great goals. So it's been a privilege to have seen so many of them actually, which has been good. So again, you know, we've all voted for 3 different goals, but we could have voted for any amount of goals because there's been so many great goals. But I think really, I think Russo deserves it because that was so cheeky and that was so yeah, in a semi-final as well. At that point in a semi-final, just to even try it, let alone pull it off, was just amazing. So I think she deserves goal of the tournament just for that, really. But we'll see. Terry says there, my favourite game is a 6-2 win on Sunday. It's a cracker. Play Germany off the park. Well, we'll see. It would get revenge for the 6-2 that they beat us back in 2009, won't it? I suppose, but I don't think that's going to happen. Gregory says there, during the Spain game, I was having a root canal, and then I watched Richard watching the game, which took the excitement and stress. Well, you want to wait until Sunday. If you think that was stressful and exciting, you want to wait until Sunday. That's going to be really exciting. Yeah. And Terry says, Gregory, you're a sucker for punishment. Yeah, cheers, Terry. Yeah, you're right. You're definitely right. But Gregory says, so I have a feeling that Mead might repeat a Wembley performance from last time. Well, let's hope so. That would be fantastic. We definitely win the golden boot if she does that. But anyway, we'll see what happens. So, so I think we'll give goal a tournament to Russo. Why not? Because she deserves it because it was amazing. Well, a couple more to go. Why don't we go with this one next? Again, don't be influenced by my pictures. They're maybe just sort of my personal choices. But there's loads to choose from. So the moment of the tournament, there's been a lot of great moments actually, really, really great moments in the tournament throughout. So, I mean, I put the picture there of Ella Toon's goal against Spain. For me personally, that was the moment of the tournament because we were so close to going out and that goal made the big difference. It kept us in it and took us on to the victory and ultimately to the final. So for me, that was my personal moment, just the relief and the excitement when that goal went in. And just, you know, the relief of the players and obviously the fans in the ground, obviously Amar was there, everything like that. And just that whole relief, really, for me, that made it the moment of the tournament. But there's been so many great moments that, you know, again, you know, it's difficult to just pick one. But that personally, probably just for me, just because of what it meant at the time. I mean, Andreas, what would be your moment of the tournament? There's been so many.
That's very difficult to say. The moment of the tournament will be the moment when the captain of the winning team will get
it will be,
the trophy.
Especially if it's Leah Williamson. Let's be fair.
Yeah, this will be the moment of the tournament. But I don't have a special moment of the tournament. You have moments of the tournament for every team, but of the whole tournament, I can't say. Yeah. Of course, Ella Toon with the equalizer against Spain was very, very important. I don't know. Can't make up my mind. I know.
No, there has been so many. I suppose it's difficult to pick one actual moment. Another moment I really enjoyed, which nothing really to do with the football, just that the Holland fans, I have to say, they were absolutely amazing. And I was fortunate enough to go to 2 games that Holland were playing in, and their fans are just incredible. And there was one when we went to the game against France. They was all in the stand to our right hand side, and they were dancing and jumping around all in a line together. It just looked amazing. It was so good, and that was a real big highlight for me. Just seeing the way, not just the Holland fans. I mean, they stick out for me, but just the way the fans in general have really got behind their teams and got behind the tournament as well. That's been great to see. You know, outside the stadiums, the atmosphere, all that kind of stuff. They're probably great moments as well, aren't they? Not just on the pitch as well, but those have been great moments. I mean, we've all been to games, we've all experienced that atmosphere, and they'll probably be ultimately, yes, the Ella Toon goal was so important at the time and what it meant. But I think once the kind of excitement of that has maybe faded a little bit, the memories of the fans will stay with us forever. And I think maybe perhaps they should be the moment of the tournament, perhaps the fans of everybody that has enjoyed the experience of it. You know, everyone that's turned up to games, got behind everybody singing and chanting and dancing and everything else. And that'll be memories that I'll never forget, actually. So that'll probably stick with me longer than the stuff we've seen on the pitch, maybe, as well. So I think that maybe deserves a mention as well, just that the brilliant support there's been for all the nations. The Sweden fans have been fantastic as well, actually. I've seen a couple of their games as well. They've been brilliant. So what about you, Emma? What would be your moment of the tournament? Obviously, you've experienced quite a few yourself personally at games as well. So there must be a few that you've got, maybe.
Yeah, there's a few that stand out. I mean, we can forget every time you see it as well. It's not just the Iceland fans themselves; they've been copying Icelandic thunderclap as well, the iconic celebration which we had from the men's Euro.
Yeah.
We've had the songs, the bangers being the absolute banging tunes that have been coming out every time England have been winning at the end. But I think for me, it actually came the other night when we saw that brilliant young fan Tess singing and dancing to Sweet Caroline. And she went viral and for Gabby Logan, I mean, it just almost moved me so much that I don't know if you saw the TV coverage, it actually gave her a pair of tickets to the final. I'm like, that's just the fact that she went viral just on that game in Sheffield the other night. I don't know if you saw it whilst you were there, maybe you did, but
no, I didn't see it at the time. It was in the stand around the side, a bit far. Obviously, we knew there was loads of people celebrating. Couldn't really see the individual. Obviously, I've seen it since. Like you said, it's gone viral. Everyone's seen it. It was a nice moment, actually. Yeah.
For her to get a couple of tickets to the final and interview her live on air, it just moved everybody. Yeah, so I'd say for me that was my moment of the tournament, rounding off what really was been a spectacular 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, I mean, you know, there were lots of similar scenes to that little girl dancing all around the whole stadium that night. It was just going on everywhere. You know, when Sweet Caroline was on, that was literally unbelievable. The kids were singing and dancing, everything. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
And, you know, that sort of scene was repeated throughout that whole stadium that night, and probably throughout the other stadiums on the other games as well when Sweet Caroline has been on and stuff like that. It's been brilliant. And yeah, I do feel as though the support has been the biggest highlight, maybe. Anyway, of the whole tournament, just the atmosphere that there's been in the games. And I say I was a little bit worried before the tournament started how much support there'd be for the games not involving England, but actually that wasn't even a problem because the games have been, you know, packed stadiums. The atmosphere in every single game has been fantastic, regardless of who was playing. You know, and even the fact that there was so many English fans at all of the games supporting the tournament when England wasn't playing, and that's been a massive highlight as well for me. Yeah. You know, all the games that I've been to, the ones not involving England, so many England fans, English fans, enjoying the football, enjoying the atmosphere, getting involved in it all. And to me, that's been brilliant, and that's what women's football's needed. And it's about time it's had it really. So that's probably going to be the lasting legacy of this tournament. It's going to be that maybe. So yeah, while it's nice to look at some of the things on the pitch, they kind of, you know, those memories kind of, the emotion of them kind of disappears as time goes on, but the actual memories of the support will probably stay with us forever. Of course, the final award can only ever be the same final award for anything that you're giving out, whatever award it is. This has always got to be the final award, so we'll go for this. I think it may well be a unanimous vote, but we will see. Again, don't be influenced by the picture that I chose of celebrating a goal against Sweden. I mean, you know, there's lots of players that are in with a shout of player of the tournament. I'm sure there's been lots of great performances, you know, from England on their own, let alone Germany and all the other teams as well. But obviously, my vote is going to go to Beth Mead. I think that she's really shown in this tournament on a world stage, if you like, exactly what a great player that she is, and to have broken the record for England goals in the Euros, to equal the record of England player at a tournament with one game still to play. And she's just been amazing. And for me, she is the natural choice of player of the tournament. But there's been, I mean, I wrote down a few other names. I think Kira Walsh had a great tournament for England as well. Yes. A little bit underrated slightly. She goes under the radar a little bit. Russo as well. She's not started a game, but she scored
No.
4 goals off the bench. She's like second top scorer in the tournament, and she's had an amazing tournament as well. And one player I do want to give a massive shout out to is the Dutch goalkeeper Daphne van Domselaar, who
Yes.
was without a shadow of a doubt for me the best goalkeeper in the tournament. Just amazing when she was only their second choice goalkeeper before the tournament started. And so I think she deserves a mention. Of course, we've already mentioned Alex Pop and Leo Oberdorf as well. They've both been amazing. And the one player also as well is Aslani as well for Sweden. I thought she had a really good tournament. And, you know, she was probably Sweden's best player. And they reached the semi-final, so she had a good tournament as well. But Beth Mead has got to win my vote just because she's Beth Mead and she's fantastic and what a tournament she's had. I mean, Andreas, anybody else for you, or is it going to be who we expect?
We all love Beth Mead, and she's Arsenal player. So yeah, I think we all would be happy if she's got the player of the tournament. But against Spain, she hasn't had her best match, and she, I think she was not really involved in the match or couldn't show her strength or her pace. So the player of the tournament will be decided after the final, and I think he will come from the winning team. If England wins, then it's a big chance that Beth Mead will be player of the tournament. Germany wins, it will be Alex Pop.
Yes.
Yeah,
You're probably right. You're probably
Oh,
right.
yeah. I find it hard to disagree with that.
as much as I love Beth Mead and would be happy if she is player of the tournament, so far I would say it's Alex Pop. Yeah, but with the history before, she was nearly 1 year out with a knee injury.
Yes.
She had another surgery in February when her first comeback failed, and nobody could say in February whether she would be fit for the Euros. Then she came back. She was in the squad, and then she got tested positive for COVID. She had some. It was not clear whether she could travel with the squad. So with all this history before, and then seeing her performance, I think for her the key opener was goal against Denmark. When she came in as a sub, she was not in the starting lineup against Denmark. Don't forget, and now she's so important for the German team, and I think she didn't have a weaker match since the moment when she came in. So. I would say so far Alex Pop is the player of the tournament, and if Beth Mead scores a goal and she gets the golden boot, and then brings winning goal for England, everything is okay. But the award for the player of the tournament, I would give to Alex.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, you know, there's no. It's difficult to argue against that as things stand at the moment because you know she has had to overcome a lot of adversity to get to this point, and the fact she scored in every single match as well, a new record to do that is an astonishing achievement as well. Unfortunately, from my perspective, I kind of look when I see her, I see Sam Kerr. And I don't particularly like her. She's not a very likable character, is she? She's a very, very good player. Let's be clear. She's a fantastic player, scores a lot of goals, but I don't think she's very likable, personally, as an individual. She doesn't come across that way. I'm sure she is. I'm sure she's a lovely, lovely person off the pitch, but on the pitch, she does. I feel similar about her to how I feel about Sam Kerr, only she's a better player than Sam Kerr, I think. But yeah, I mean, she's had a great tournament, there's no doubt about that. And yes, I think it maybe will come down to Mead or Pop for the player of the tournament after the final. You know, it could turn out to be that Mead scores for England, England lose 2-1, Pop doesn't score, Mead gets golden boot, and Pop gets player of the tournament, possibly. You don't know, do we? That works. But obviously, I'd rather it perhaps be the other way around. I'd rather England win and Beth Mead doesn't get golden boot or player of the tournament, but England win the trophies, maybe. Yeah, unfortunate for Beth not to win either of them because she probably deserves at least one. But anyway, ultimately it's about the team, isn't it? Gregory says, going back to the moment, he says the first goal by Mead because that goal started the belief England could win and it wasn't easy. Yeah, that was a big moment in the tournament without a shadow of a doubt, and it did set us on the way. Winning that game was so important, wasn't it? Winning that first game, getting the momentum going. I think that was really important as well. And obviously, with regards to the player of the tournament, and Gregory says, really, you have to ask. Well, yeah, we have to ask because, you know, we have to, don't we? And obviously, Gregory says, Mino, indeed. Terry says, Mead without a doubt. Well, there is a slight doubt because Alex Potts perhaps, you know, deserves a mention as well, let's be fair.
Yeah.
Terry says, best Euro CD was Pete Drake. Well, 100%. CD of the tournament by a shadow of a doubt, you know, by a mile. Question about it. I'd say probably the best football CD that's ever been made. Probably since World in Motion, because that was a great song as well. But probably since then, I would say. And Gregory says, don't forget, Hamid has 11 points so far. Oh, is there a point system to play a tournament? Is there? Is it goals? Oh, goals and assists, isn't it? Yeah, I think she's got.
Yeah, one more assist, I think, than Paul.
Yeah, she's got more assists, isn't she? So if neither of them score, she wins on assist, doesn't she? And if they both score 1 or 2,
yeah.
she assist. But yeah, so yeah, she probably is slightly ahead on that basis. I mean, Amar, do I need to ask your player of the tournament?
It's hard to look past me, though. I would say I'd agree with the consensus most people say, but I'd also like to give out shouts because, as you say, Daphne Van Domselaar has been outstanding. Nina Oberdorf, you could even say any of the German defenders have been. I can name them all, but they've been really outstanding, in keeping it being that solid base. You could even make a case for something like Svenja Hoot, for example, who is so solid for her club. Wolfsburg bombs forward and so good on the ball, so eye catching. Selma Basher as well as another one, but yeah, I mean, I would agree with what most people say and say Beth deserves it. Although honourable mentions as well to Kira Walsh and Millie Bright and Lucy Bronze have also I think been absolutely
Bright, yes,
absolutely
a very good shout. Yeah.
Absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, no, Millie Bright has been fantastic. I say that's going to be the key battle probably Sunday, isn't it? If she can keep Alex Pop quiet. Then that may be what wins it for England, maybe, and then, you know, she maybe would deserve a shout for player of the tournament because she has been fantastic. It has to be said. I think Leah Williamson's actually been great as well.
Yeah,
she's maybe gone under the radar a little bit, I think, in this tournament. No one's really been speaking about Leah Williamson. I thought against Sweden the other night she was unbelievably good. Brilliant performance. She read the game so well. She was bringing the ball out of defence. She was starting attack. She was intercepting things. I thought she was absolutely brilliant against Sweden, and nobody even mentioned her as a potential for player of the match. I mean, Beth Mead deserved it, but I thought that was Leah Williamson for me. That was her best game of the tournament against Sweden, and I think she's been good in every game. But I thought she was absolutely brilliant in that game. You know, Millie Bright gets a lot of attention because she's very physical, wins all their headers, and she's strong and she stands out. Whereas Leah Williamson, what she does is a little bit like Kira Walsh, maybe goes under the radar a little bit. But she's so important to that team. She was brilliant against Sweden. I absolutely love watching her performance. It was just a brilliant footballing centre half performance, just fantastic. And you know, hopefully on Sunday, she's going to be leading. She's going to be leading England out at Wembley in a final. You know, I mean, how many England captains have done that? It's only be the third one ever. You know, and one of the previous two ended up with a trophy as well at the end of it. Luckily, in a way, the other one didn't, because we wouldn't really wanted a Tottenham player lifting a trophy with it. So we got away with that. But this year it's going to be an Arsenal player who potentially can lift the trophy. So we kind of hope that's the case. But we'll see. Gregory says 11 points must be a record. It may well be. I don't know what the record is, actually, to be fair. Terry says the German defence didn't look too good on Sunday when we scored 6 against them. I mean, to be honest, they had a few shaky moments against France and against Austria, actually, in the previous 2 rounds. They've looked a little bit shaky in both of those 2 games, which gives me hope, actually, because I think we're better than France and Austria, as we've proven it already. So, but yeah, it's not going to be easy. I mean, it's been fantastic, actually, looking back at some of these great moments in the tournament, actually, talking about different players and different stuff. It's been great to look back. And I said it before, I'm going to be quite sad when this is all finished, because it's been a great few weeks, actually, and it is going to be a shame when it's all over, really. But anyway, Gregory says there, who do you think will be tasked with neutralising Pop, Lucy or Millie? Well, it's going to be Millie Bright, isn't it? You would put Millie Bright on Alex Pop, I think, because they're more of a match-up physically, aren't they, in the way that they play? So I think that'll be what we'll do with that. And I think Leah Williamson will be tidying things up, maybe trying to stop the. I think Lucy, and if it's going to be Rachel at left back, I think that they're going to have to try to stop the supply into Pop. That's going to be key, maybe, as well. Stop them getting crosses in. Then Alex Pop's not going to be as dangerous, is she? So that's what we need to do as well. Everyone's going to have to be on their task. I mean, obviously, we'll come on to a score prediction for the final. Do you think Serena's going to make any changes, barring anybody getting a last-minute injury or COVID, anything? Do you think it's going to be the same starting team again? Because I can't see her changing it now. It's worked so far, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought she would change one or two positions
Yeah.
for the Sweden match, but now I don't think there will be any changes. Rachel Daly had a better match against Sweden. She's back. She's confident again, and and there's no need to change Ellen White because she didn't score too much, but she's the time she's on the pitch, she's working really hard. What we said in the last season about Nikita Paris, this workload from Ellen White is so important, and then bringing in Alicia Russo, this was a key factor in most matches. And why should she change? No, I think we will see the same lineup.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'd be surprised now, unless there's a last-minute injury or anything like that. I mean, when we saw the team line up on Tuesday for the Sweden game, my first feeling was, I said that, if we win this game, it's going to be the same team that starts the final. She's not going to change it now. You don't change it in a final when you haven't changed it all the way through. She's not going to do it. I think that would be crazy. And all right, then, Andreas, what about Germany? Do you think Germany are going to make any changes for the final from the team that played the other night, or do you think there might be the same team again from Germany?
It will be the same team, but Marina Hegering is in doubt. The central defender, she had to go out after I think about 80 minutes with a tiny muscle problem. And today I read that she couldn't train with the team. She had some individual program, and it's in doubt whether she can play. So I think if she's not 100% fit, then might be Sarah Dawson from Frankfurt coming in, because the problem is Marina Hegering is not the fastest player. She doesn't have the pace. She's a very intelligent player, and she reads the game a lot. She organizes her defense. But if she's not 100% fit and not being the fastest player, though, it might be a change with Sarah Dawson. But I hope she can play. She also had a difficult year. She made only, I think, 2 or 3 matches for Bayern Munich in the whole season, and then she didn't get a new contract, but there was a big mistake from Bayern. So she signed at Wolfsburg, and now she's playing a really great tournament. But and then in the attacking line, it's against Clara Bühl will be.
Of course, yeah, because she missed that game, didn't she? Yeah, with COVID, yeah.
Due to the positive test, I read that it's still possible that she could return today, but I don't think, even if she's back in training tomorrow, I don't think she will start, because 3-4 days in the hotel room, it's too much before such a match. So probably Jule Brandt will start on her position.
I mean, we saw that with Viv, didn't we? When she came back from COVID, she had to spend a few days locked away. And when she came back, she wasn't quite herself. It's like you need a game or two to get back into the swing of it again, don't you? And obviously, you don't get that opportunity in a tournament, do you? Because if you're out, you're out. That's it gone. And obviously, this is a final. So yeah, I'd be surprised if she maybe does start. We don't know how quickly she was training again and stuff like that, I suppose. But yeah, it's not looking too likely there, I wouldn't imagine. So probably not too many changes from either side, I wouldn't have thought. Gregory there says no changes. No, I certainly don't think England are going to make any. Do you, Emma? Do you think there'll be any changes from England? Do you think, barring any last-minute problems that we're hoping that there isn't?
Why would you change your winning formula? It's worked so well throughout the tournament. Yeah, there's arguments for Russo to be put in instead. But what she's been doing, let her come off the bench. She's still only, 21, 23 years old. She's got plenty of years ahead of her to start games. And when you've got players like Ellen White, who's been so close to winning major tournaments, and for her not to start in the final, I think would just maybe taking it just a little step too far. So it would shock me if there were any changes. As for Germany, I don't know whether they want to change their winning machines, but maybe you want to protect 1 or 2 players or on yellow card. But then, of course, that doesn't carry over. So yeah, no, I think we would see we won't see too many changes as far as either team is concerned, and hopefully, as we all expect, it'll be a great game.
Well, that's what I'm sure it will be. I don't see any doubt about that, if I'm totally honest. I can't see it not being a great game, just obviously depending on the final result or maybe how we feel about it, perhaps. Now, I do want to finish with a score prediction, but before we do that, I believe Amar's got a little quiz organised for me and Andreas. So this is going to be quite a lot of fun. Obviously, Amar's been noted for his quizzes throughout the season, so he's got a little. Is it a Euros quiz? Is it?
It's a 15-question Euros quiz looking back at the 38 years of the tournament. Yes.
Wow. Okay. Well, that sounds.
Pen and papers out. Yeah, I think I got like 8 out. I didn't do very well. I got like 9 out of 15 or something. Let's see how you guys do.
Well, okay, this will be good. Right, so this is Amar's Euros quiz. So we're looking forward to this because this.
Yeah, so how much do you know about UEFA Women's Euro history? This is from the Matchday program, which I brought back on the day of the Norway game. Find out in our fun quiz looking back at the 38 years of the tournament. Are we ready?
Yeah, go on then. I'm ready.
Okay, question number 1. In what year did England previously stage the finals of the UEFA Women's Euro?
Oh, yeah, I think I know that.
2000.
Yeah, well, I'll go back and after each question, I'll get your answers, and then we'll see who gets the most points. Yeah.
Okay.
And number 2, at which stadium did the final take place that year? Some are multiple choice, by the way. Was A, Ewood Park, B, Villa Park, or C, Pride Park?
What was the first?
Ewood Park, Villa Park, Pride Park.
The first one.
All good?
Yeah.
Question 3. Which nation is making their debut at the UEFA Women's Euro?
It's Northern Ireland.
Don't give the answer away. Oh, it's all right. It's all right. Okay. Question number 4. Are you ready? Just tell me if I'm going too quick. Let me know. Yeah.
No, it's fine.
Who is the most capped international player in Europe, having racked up 225 appearances for Sweden by the end of March and having represented her country at the UEFA Women's Euros of 05, 09, 13 and 17?
I know. I think I know who it is. She missed the game. Well, she didn't start the game, did she? On Tuesday.
I'll just write down who you think it is. Yeah.
Is it Caroline Seger?
Write it down if that's what you think. Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you at the end if you're right. I'll tell you at the end. It's question 5. The youngest player ever to appear at the finals was Oksana Yakoshin in 2009. She was aged 16 years, 5 months and 3 days. But which country did she represent?
What was her name again?
Oksana Yakoshin. Yakovichin. If you want a spelling, I can spell it for you. Oksana Yakovichin.
Okay.
Which country did she represent?
From the first name, it could be Ukraine. Oksana. In any match of a tournament.
Yeah, the youngest player ever to appear at the finals. Yeah.
The final tournament, not a final.
No, just the finals itself. Not the tournament final. Just the finals themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, to play in the tournament. Yeah.
In 2009, which was aged 16 years, 5 months and 3 days. Which country did she represent?
I said from the first name, it should be Ukraine. But
write down what you think. As I said, I'm not going to give you answers until the end.
Okay.
Question 6. Belgium striker Tina Dekaney top scored in qualifying for this year's tournament. But how many goals did she score? Was it A, 6, B, 10, or C, 12?
12. She's from Hoffenheim, by the way.
Oh, is it? I didn't know.
Yeah, she is, yeah.
Question 7. Can you name the 4 nations who have won the UEFA Women's Euro since its inception in 1984?
Yes. Hopefully there'll be a new name on Sunday to add to that list. We'll see.
Yeah. Question 8.
It's Germany.
Yeah, I'm going to give you 1 point if you get all 4 questions right. All 4 answers right, sorry.
Yeah. Can I start?
I'm going to give you answers out at the end, but if you want to give your answer, go ahead.
It's Germany, it's Netherlands, And it's
Write them
Norway.
down. Write them down.
Norway.
Anyway, question 8. Germany duo Inka Grings and Birgit Prinz are the joint all-time top scorers in UEFA Women's Euro finals history throughout their careers. But how many goals did they each score? Was it 10, 15, or 20?
Andreas will probably know that as soon as they're German.
No
How many
idea.
goals did each of them score in their UEFA Women's Euro careers?
Oh, we know. Oh, that. 61, I know that.
10, 15, or 20? Carrying on?
Yeah,
The
carry on. Yeah, carry on.
The record attendance at a UEFA Women's Euro match before this tournament is 41,301 in Solna in 2013. For which two teams were in action?
I know that. I know that one. I'm pretty sure I do anyway. Because I remember reading it somewhere before the tournament started because I was looking at the crowd. So I think I know that.
Question 10. Germany holds the record for the most consecutive wins at the UEFA Women's Euro. How many times in a row did they lift the trophy?
Oh, yeah.
6 times.
That's a bit unfair, isn't it? Andreas
There's a
will
lot
know
of
that.
questions I know. No, but anyway.
It's a bit
Yeah.
unfair, isn't it?
Question-
Too many Germany questions in this, like.
I know, but this is what the program makers came up with, so I mean, I can't say it. Anyway, question 11.
Biased, this quiz. Go on, anyway.
Question
tell me.
11. Which nation has finished as runners-up the most often with 4 silver medals so far?
I'll go with that.
Question 12. Are we ready to say?
Yeah.
Including this summer's Euro, how many different nations have played in the final since the inaugural event in 1984? Is it 15, 19, or 23?
Oh, what? Have reached the final tournament, you mean?
Played,
Not the final
played in
itself.
the finals. Played.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, reached, yeah.
Okay.
Question 13. England are the sole hosts for the second time in the competition's history. Which is the only other nation to have staged the tournament twice? Question 14. Birgit Prinz scored in the 1995 and 1997 finals for Germany. How many international caps did she win in total? Was it 114, 164, or 214? And finally, casting your minds back to 2017, who scored the first goal of UEFA Women's Euro 2017, helping the Dutch to a 1-0 win over Norway?
Oh, I know.
And that, gents, is that. I will give the answers out when you guys are ready.
I've got my answers written down on my bit of paper. There you go. My answers written down. If you can see
All right,
them.
ready, Andreas? Are we ready?
Yeah, I haven't written down the first ones. I answered them.
Okay, anyway, let's go through them then. Are we ready to go through them?
Yeah.
Yeah, so question number 1, England previously staged the finals in 2005.
2005, yeah.
At which stadium did the final take place that year? It was Ewood Park.
Ewood Park, yeah.
Which tick your cross as you go along? And which nation is making their debut at UEFA Women's Euro? That, of course, is Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland, yeah.
And the most capped international player, having wrapped up 225 appearances of Sweden by the end of March, was Caroline Seger.
Seger, yeah.
The youngest player ever to appear at the finals was Oksana Yakoshin. She represented Ukraine.
I had Russia.
Yeah, that was easy to get wrong.
But
Tina Dekani was the top scorer in Euro 22 qualifying, and she scored 12 goals.
yeah, I had 12, yeah.
The four nations who have won the UEFA Women's Euro since its inception in '84 were Germany, Norway, Sweden,
Netherlands.
the Netherlands. Yeah.
Yeah.
Germany, duo Inka, Grings, and Birgit Prinz are the joint all-time top scorers in the finals history, and throughout their careers, they each scored 10 goals.
I got 10, yeah. That was just a guess, actually, but it had to be one of the three, didn't it? I went with 10.
Yeah. The record attendance was in Solna in 2013, 41,301. The two teams that were in action in that match were
Germany, Norway. Germany, Norway.
Yes, Germany, Norway.
I read that somewhere before, so I knew that one. It was a
And
final,
also-
wasn't it? It was a
Yeah.
final.
Yeah, I think that one was the one when Nadine Angro saved 2 penalties and Anja Mittag scored the winner. She was a great player as well, by the way. Geez, we forget how good she was.
Yeah.
Germany holds the record for the most consecutive wins. They've lifted the trophy 6 times in a row between
Yeah.
95 and 2013.
Yeah, we know.
Which nation has finished up as runners-up the most often? That is Norway.
Norway, 3 times they've lost to Germany, haven't they, in the final?
Is it 3? Oh, probably, yeah. Oh, 2005, 2030. I've got it right here, actually. How many times have they lost?
87 up. Was it 80? Not 80. Yeah, was it 80? No, 89, I think it might have been. Or 91.
They lost
or
in the
something.
final. They actually won in 87, lost 89, 91, 2005, and 2013. Yeah.
Yeah.
Including this summer's Euro, the number of different nations that have played in the final since 1984 is 19.
Is it 19? I had 23.
Oh.
Just a guess.
England are the sole host for the second time in the competition's history. The only other nation to stage the tournament twice is Germany.
I put Germany. I just guessed at Germany. I didn't know. I just guessed.
1989 and 2001. Birgit Prinz won 214 international caps for Germany.
Yeah, I guessed that right as well. Just because it was the highest number, so I thought it made sense.
And finally, the first goal of UEFA Women's Euro 2017 was scored by Shanice van der Sanden.
Van der Sanden, yeah.
So tot them up, and yeah, what did you get?
I got 13.
Oh, that's very good. That's very impressive. What about you,
I got
Andy?
3 wrong.
3 wrong or 2 wrong? It's 2. They just said 30.
I got 2 wrong. I had Russia and 23 for the.
Oh, right. What did you get?
Teams. So yeah, I got 2 wrong.
I've got 2 wrong, and from the 4 winning nations, I've got only 3.
Oh, sorry. Was it? Oh, okay. Which was the other question you got wrong then?
With the goals, Grings and Grings scored.
Oh, Grings, yeah. Well, so it's a tie. Well done. It's an honourable tie. 13 all. Well done, gents. That's very
Good
impressive.
stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, he did better than me. I could have done a tiebreaker, but no, I wouldn't want to break the tie between you two.
Penalty shootout.
I was going to say penalty shootout. Yeah, that's what it's needed.
Oh,
That'll be that's a preemptive for Sunday now, isn't it? England and Germany drawing. That's what's going to happen now.
No, well done. 13 is very impressive. 13 is good,
Yeah.
much better than what I did anyway. So well done.
Terry said 1984. I don't know what that was for. Oh, maybe the last time England hosted it. Maybe it wasn't 1984. 1984 was a book by George Orwell, actually. Not. It was the first Euro. It was held in 1984.
Yeah.
And Terry's gone for the winners there. He said Sweden, Norway, Germany, Holland, and England in 2022. Let's hope you're right, Terry. Let's hope you're right. That would be nice, wouldn't it? We could add a new name to the list. It'd be 5. It'd be 5 winners instead of 4. That'd be nice. But we'll see. I mean, before we finish, then we do need, unfortunately, a score prediction from us all. Andreas, what is your score prediction on the Sunday?
It's 1-1 after 90 minutes.
Yeah, and then what?
And then we'll see extra time.
Well,
he's not one to sit on the fence, actually, so that makes a change.
Oh, yeah. So,
are you going for penalties then, Andreas? You're going for penalties?
You want to know whether it's what it's the score prediction after 120 minutes or what?
Yes.
It's still 1-1.
Oh no!
Yeah.
You know what that means? We know what that means. We don't want that. We definitely don't want that.
Serena has changed so much. Maybe she makes it possible that England wins a penalty shootout. I don't know.
She'd have to do some magic if that's going to be the case. But But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that is what happens. I've got to be honest, but I'm hoping it doesn't go penalties, just because we know there's only one outcome when that happens, don't we? Emma, what are you going for as a score prediction?
I think it's going to be a classic end to end. I think it's going to go extra time. We might see one of the best finals in not just in Euro for women's Euro history, but in the history of women's football. And I'll say England will win it 3-2 after extra time.
Wow, that would be really exciting. I'm not sure if Gregory will be able to stick with my watch along if it's 3-2 going to England. I think he might get a bit stressed out. He's gone 5-2 England and me hat-trick after 90 minutes. You've been listening to Terry too much, Gregory, honestly. He's got you, hasn't he? Terry's got in your head now, hasn't he? That's what it is. I'll be very surprised if it was 5-2 after 90 minutes. I'm agreeing with you, so I think it's going to be extra time. I don't think there's much doubt about that as far as I can see. I think it's going to be 1-1, as Andreas said. I think it will be 1-1 at 90 minutes. And then I'm just going to hope and pray that England find a goal in extra time so we don't have to suffer the agony of penalties and maybe England nick it 2-1 in extra time. But it could go either way. It could go all the way to penalties. It's one of them games that's so difficult to call, isn't it? Really, really difficult to call. There's so many exciting matchups. It's just maybe who wins certain key individual battles may well be what decides the game. And possibly it may well come down to the substitutions actually as well, mightn't it? Because that's been crucial for England so far. And it could be again, couldn't it? You know, obviously Russo's come on, done amazing. Is she going to be the key? Is it going to be 1-1 in extra time? Russo comes on, gets the winning goal with a back heel again or something. Who knows? You know, it is so even and so hard to call this game. I really don't want to think what might happen. Terry's still going for 6-2 all over on the 78th minute. To be fair to Terry, right? And to be fair to Terry, he did say it would be all over by the 75th minute or something against Sweden. And I laughed at him and said, no, it won't, because I thought it was going to be extra time and everything else. And he was actually right. It was over by the 76th minute, whatever it was, the other night. So I don't think that's going to be the case on Sunday, though, I've got to be honest. As much as Terry's winning me over with his mad predictions that seem to be coming true quite often, or he's not far away recently, I don't think 6-2 in the final is going to be quite what happened. But anyway, Terry says, what's up with you three? Well, we're kind of a bit more realistic in our kind of predictions, really. Gregory says they don't have faith. Well, we don't have as much faith as you do, really. I mean, you know, I don't. Let's hope you're right, because one, it'll be a great game, and two, it means England winning. It'll be fantastic. But I'm personally expecting it to be a very, very tight game. That's going to be decided by one goal here or there, or maybe it won't be decided by a goal at all. Maybe it will be decided in a penalty shootout again, as the Euro final was last year at Wembley as well, wasn't it? That was decided on penalties. Are we going to see a repeat of that? Hopefully, not the same outcome finally. But anyway, we'll have to see. We know Germany don't lose penalty shootout, so we definitely don't want that, do we? But we'll see what happens. The one good thing about it is going to be a great game. It's going to be a great way to finish what's been a fantastic tournament.
Yeah.
And let's hope that, the best team on the day wins. That's all we can really hope for, isn't it? That's what we want, the best team on the day to win. And then it will be the right ending to a great tournament. Terry says there, Gregory, you hit the nail on the head. we just don't have as much. We don't have as much faith as you. That's it.
We'll all have to wait and see, won't we? That's it.
Well, we will have to wait and see. That was quite good, actually, Amar. That was almost a joke. That was good.
Yeah, that's all wait and see. Yeah.
Yes, wait and see. Yes, very good. So yeah, I mean, it is going to be a great game. It's going to be a great occasion. That's the main thing, isn't it? It's going to be a massive occasion. 90,000 fans at Wembley. There's going to be God knows how many millions watching on telly throughout the world. Everybody's going to be interested in this game. Everyone's going to be watching. The country's going to grind to a halt, isn't it, for a couple of hours or so on Sunday afternoon. It's going to be fantastic. So, and that's the most important thing. Women's football is going to be massively in the spotlight. Everybody's watching it. And we know with the two great teams out of there, with all those great players, it's going to be a great advert for women's football, and it's going to hopefully be the thing that this whole tournament is going to be the thing that takes women's football to the next level. But this final in particular, I think it's going to be talked about and remembered for a long, long time to come. I think people will be talking about this final for many, many years to come. A bit like we still talk about 66, don't we, in this country a lot, the only thing we've ever won. And that gets talked about a lot. And I'm sure this final will be talked about a lot as well for hopefully similar reasons in terms of England concerned, but for the fact that it was such a great game for women's football and such a key moment in the the future of women's football as well, and I think that's what's so important. So it is going to be great. We're all looking forward to it, even though it's going to be really, really nervy. I will be doing a watch along, Gregory. So if you can stand the excitement and the stress, please join me with everybody else. We'll probably go live about 4:30 because it's 5 o'clock kickoff, isn't it? So we'll go live about 4:30. We'll get all the team news in, a bit of build up, all that kind of stuff, a bit of pre-match excitement. And then we will obviously do the full watch along with comments, all that kind of stuff, and really tense, exciting day it's going to be evening. So please join us for that. It is going to be a lot of fun. Gregory says hopefully WSL crowds grow. Yeah, I'm sure they will. Really, really sure they will. I think a lot of people are going to be looking forward to watching more women's football now in the new season. So let's hope that's the case. And we'll have to see what happens there. Terry says after Germany's 6-2 loss on Sunday, national football. You heard it here first. Well, I mean, you'll be like Nostradamus if you carry on, if you're right. And Gregory says, I have good VPN now. Well, that's good then. If you've got good VPN, you can obviously join me for the watch along, and I'll stress you out a little bit more again, as we did the other night against Spain. I'm sure it'll be just as much of a tense evening, shall we say, but hopefully a great game of football, which I'm sure it will. So, it's a shame, really. This is our last kind of live show for the Euros. We've done, actually, I've lost count. I mean, we've done maybe 12 or 13 throughout the tournament. Nearly every night we've done one pretty much when the games are on. Bit more spaced out towards the end as there's more gaps between games and stuff. But I feel as though we've given the tournament as much coverage as we possibly could, and it's been great that lots of people have been watching, which is great to see. And hopefully you've all enjoyed what we tried to do for the tournament. But yeah, this is kind of it for now, really, which is apart from obviously the watch along on Sunday, but the last live show. Andreas, have you enjoyed obviously covering the tournament with us here the last couple of weeks or so?
Yeah, I enjoyed the shows during the tournament, and the whole tournament being in England for 1 week and having this atmosphere live for 3 matches in stadium. It was just a special tournament for me. And I think even in 10 years, people will look back on this tournament and say, this was the tournament that brought women's football a big success. And I'm sure the effect on the WSL will be enormous. And I'm sure attendances will rise in the next season. I'm not so convinced that the effect on the German Bundesliga will be the same. I hope so, but there's always a problem to have more than 1,000 attendances in the matches. And if this will change, I'm not sure. The effect on the WSL will be much, much stronger than in every other country.
Yeah.
So
I think so.
It's great to be a part of this development, and I hope that all those who listened to us, who watched us, enjoyed it, and we made these vlogs from the matches. I enjoyed it very much doing this and being a part of all this. It's great to be a part of this development.
Yeah, no, it is. And it's been, over the last year since we've been doing the show, obviously starting doing the Arsenal women and doing these Euro shows as well. It has been, it's sort of strange in a way that it's coincided with the real growth of women's football in this country as the shows have gone along, really. I know it's just a coincidence perhaps, but it's been great to have been a part of that journey. And for this Euros as well, I mean, it has been, I think we've all been fortunate enough to be able to have attended matches in the tournament, and that has been so important, and it's been great. And let's hope that I say women's football. I agree. I think it's going to be more. The impact's going to be more in England, isn't it? Because that's where the tournament was held. You've had the English crowd going to the games. I do think it will have the biggest impact going forward in England initially, but hopefully that will spread more throughout the other countries as well as we move forward, and let's hope so, because it does deserve the support. I mean, Amar as well, thank you very much for being part of this show for the last few weeks with us. I hope you've enjoyed being a part of it, and obviously for the great vlogs that you've done for us as well. It's been
it's been a pleasure to be part of a group that I really enjoy, and long way to continue, and let's hope that this impact is felt not only going forward in the WSL, but they've announced actually earlier today that that a lot of the Premier League stadiums are going to be hosting some of the big games next season, which is really good to see. Arsenal playing the Emirates, Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, Manchester City at the Etihad, Liverpool at Anfield. So, I mean, that's really good to see. And then hopefully it will culminate in arguably, well, I've a lot to live up to, but I'm already even excited for Australia and New Zealand next year. I mean, I can't wait for that. So, yeah, no, it'll be great. And this is definitely put women's football on the map. And hopefully long may it continue. And hopefully long may this group continue as well.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, obviously now we will have a few weeks off, obviously, before the Arsenal women start the season up again. I think there'll be the qualifier for the Champions League, won't there, in August at some point. Yeah. So we'll, depending on when we get the date and the game of that through, we'll probably look at doing our first Arsenal women's show of the season, probably that week when that game's before that game is on, so we can look ahead to that game, look ahead to the season, hopefully talk about a few more new signings. We did, of course, sign the goalkeeper, didn't we, last week as well, early this week, actually.
Yeah,
So we'll look ahead, obviously, we'll look ahead to that as well, maybe in a maybe 2 or 3 weeks' time as we head in towards August. And we'll all be back together again on our usual Friday night slot once the season starts. Really looking forward to that. And you're right, Amar, it's good that, there's going to be a lot more games in the big stadiums this season. Yeah. Hopefully the crowds will come as well, will follow there, and we can get really big crowds in. The North London derbies at the Emirates in September, so that's going to be really good. That's the first one. I think we've got the game against Man United and Chelsea, plus hopefully the 3 group games in the Champions League.
Yes,
we do qualify, which hopefully we will. So yeah, that's going to be exciting as well. And like you said, the other teams as well are going to be playing in their stadium, so their big stadium. So it's about time, isn't it, that it got that coverage and it got that support. And I'm sure there'll be the big crowds in there as well to really support it. Terry says, will England's lucky charm be there Sunday? We need Mrs. B. Yeah, she'll be watching it with us. Maybe other surprise guests as well that we might have in with us as well. Gregory says, we really, really need...
Yeah, we do.
Season. Yeah, we do, and I'm sure we're going to get something. I'm sure we will. I know we need 1 or 2 still new signings, but we'll see what happens in the next few weeks. Terry says, "Great show again, chaps. I'll see you all Sunday. Take care." Sunday as well. Indeed, come on you, England Gooners and Gregory. I look forward to discussing Arsenal games with you like this season. Yeah, we look forward to you as well, Gregory. We really appreciated your comments that you've made on the shows recently. So it's been great to see. Hopefully you can pop in on Sunday if your heart can take it. I'll try not to stress you out too much, but hopefully it will definitely be worth it. I'm sure it'll be a great game. So, yes, that's the last of the Euro live shows that we've done throughout the tour. I hope you guys have all enjoyed it. We've certainly enjoyed doing them, and it's been a fantastic tournament. And there's still one more game to go. Of course, the big one, the showpiece on Sunday, 5:00 kickoff in the UK, England. Lionesses. We're going to call them the Lionesses, even though some people don't maybe like the Lionesses. We're going to still call them the Lionesses.
Oh, of course, yeah.
It's the England Lionesses playing against Germany. Have the German women's team got like a nickname, Andreas, that they're called? Is it just German? They're just called Germany?
No nickname.
It's just called Die Minschaft or something, is it? Die Minschaft or something?
Yeah, this was the men's team, but this week they decided to cancel this because it didn't have a real good image and.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Okay.
It's just the Germans.
Just the Germans. Yeah, I mean, Germany don't tend to do nicknames, do they? Really, it's not a German thing. I mean, we like to have nicknames in this country for everything. We give everything a name that we shouldn't do, really. But the Lionesses is fantastic, perfect name for our team, and I think that we're going to keep calling them that anyway, regardless of what anybody might think. I think it's perfect, and the girls love it as well, don't they? So there's no reason to change. And Gregory says they're the machine. Yeah, Germany are the machine. Yeah. Hopefully the machine might come up against its match on Sunday. We'll see, but we'll see what happens on Sunday. But yeah, no, it's been great covering it with you guys, and obviously Matt as well, who couldn't be here tonight. He's done some vlogs for us as well, which have been good. He's been on a couple of shows with us, which has been nice. So yeah, it's been fun. It's been a great ride. It's been a great tournament. I'm going to miss it all. But I say the good news is the WSL season isn't too far away, so we haven't got long to wait until we'll all be back together again, looking ahead to the Arsenal season as well. So, and obviously the Premier League starts next week anyway, so there's loads of stuff going on, loads of football still. So we're not really going to have any break from football, are we? It's going to go from the Euro straight into the Premier League. So not much break this summer, but it's been great. I wouldn't have had it any other way. So we will be back, I say, on Sunday for the big one, the final of Euro 2022. It's the final we all wanted. It's the final that we've got. and we're all looking to it. And Terry's called Germany the losers after Sunday. I'll just hold your horses, Terry. Let's not get too carried away just yet.
Wait,
We want to keep our feet on the ground at the moment. As Serena keeps saying, follow Serena's example. Don't get carried away until the end of the game. Then we can get carried away if we won. But it's going to be great anyway. I'm just looking forward to seeing Leah Williamson lead out England in a final at Wembley. And that's going to be a great moment for her. And for us as Arsenal fans, she's come through the whole system at Arsenal from the youth team. She's been at Arsenal since she was a kid. And now she's leading England out in a final at Wembley. I mean, wow, what a fantastic story and what a fantastic role model she is for English football. Not just English women's football, but English football. Fantastic. And that's going to be a great moment to see her leading the team out. And hopefully at the end, maybe lifting a little bit of silverware up, maybe. See what happens. But just to see her leading the team out, it's going to be great. And Gregory says there to Terry, he says, "You are relentless." He is. But we love him for it as well. And who knows? His predictions haven't been too far wrong actually recently. So who knows? I put money on 6-2 to England because the odds will probably be massive, and you might lose a few quid because it's probably not going to happen. But Terry has done well recently. So
instead of being Abbott and Costello, it might be Waite and Costello or something. Who knows? Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, there might have been a new double act on the show, actually, might there, maybe. We'll have to maybe...
Waite and Costello.
Waite and Costello for the new season, maybe. That'd be something interesting, couldn't it? So that's it for the Euros daily show. As I say, we will see you Sunday at 4:30 for the big watch-along. Please give this a like before you go. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We're only 20 away from 1,000, actually. We were before this show. So let's see if we can get there by the end of the game on Sunday. Only 20 more subscribers. Come on, let's subscribe on Sunday. If everybody who watches, just subscribe on Sunday if you haven't done so. Well, Andreas, thank you very much again for coming on. Thanks for doing the tournament with us. It's been an absolute pleasure. Really enjoyed it. And Amara as well, thank you very much for all your contributions as well over the last 3.5 weeks, isn't it? We've been 3 weeks, 3 weeks been going, so it's been great. And obviously, I say we will be looking forward to Sunday, but very nervously, but it's going to be great. So please, I say, join us at 4:30 for that. And then after Sunday, we'll be building up for the Premier League season on the channel, looking ahead to, we've got some new shows coming up next week for looking at the Arsenal team as well, the new season and stuff like that. It starts on Monday night, so not much break for me. We're going straight into it, so it's all going to be good stuff. So, but yeah, please join us on Sunday for the watch along and get stressed along and with us and enjoy it as well, because it is a lot of fun. So we'll see you on Sunday. Thank you again to Andreas, to Amar, and to all you guys watching, and to Matt as well, who's contributed to the show throughout the Euros. It's been great, and Adam as well for the blog that he did, and he's doing a vlog for the final for us as well. Going to the final on Sunday, Adam. He's going to be vlogging that for us, so look forward to that as well. That'll come up on the channel. So thanks to Adam for doing that. And he's going to be hosting a show for us on the Arsenal men's team as well once the season starts. So it's going to be good stuff. So I say we will see you Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend if you can. Don't get too stressed. And hopefully Sunday will be a great way to finish this great tournament. So thanks to all you guys for watching. We will see you very, very soon on Sunday. In the meantime, of course, as always, come on, you lionesses. Let's do it. See you Sunday, guys. Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Take care.
There's shin pads, hairbands, rainbow laces, brand new fans and different races. Another camp with COVID cases, an England squad with brand new faces. Here we go, the summer's here. Meet your friends and grab a beer.